Hi folks, welcome to today's color process video. Please forgive me if my voice is a little off. I'm still dealing with the after effects of the flu or really bad head cold or whatever it was I had, and the bad cough I had on top of that. So yeah, fun times all around. So today's comic, there's not all that much I can talk about in terms of technique or process or anything like that. But one thing I can talk about is how today's comic was one of those examples where I realized less was very much more. um, I had originally intended with today's comic for there to be far more like shading and like texture work and stuff going on, especially in that last panel. Like there was going to be, I was just planning on having like a very nice kind of like blue to white kind of a gradient going on and using like a nice textured brush for it. However, after I laid down the flats on the snowman, which literally was just the pink elements like the hat, the nose, and the scarf, I really liked how it looked, and I was kind of humming and hawing about whether I should go further with it or not. But I've I talked about this before, but like there is this tendency in my case to put in shading for the sake of doing so. It's the coloring equivalent of like when you're drawing something. If like, the kind of amateur temptation is that if there's empty space, it must be filled at all costs. And this is kind of the or that temptation I was talking about with regards like shading everything. That would be the coloring equivalent of that, um, where there is this tendency, at least in my case, to feel the need to fill in every space with some kind of color because otherwise it doesn't look right, at least in my head. But this was one of those kind of gut reaction things with this comic where just my gut was telling me leave it as it is. There's no need to go any further with the colors here. Like, I mean, the entire thing is snow, so it only makes sense that everything would be white. Now, granted, like when you look at snow in real life, it isn't just literal white. There are other colors going on there as well, like whatever shadows are coming on top of it and the way the lighting is and whatnot. That will affect the snow, of course. But for the purpose of this comic, going further than I didn't wouldn't have added anything to the comic. Maybe it would have looked a bit nicer, I don't know, but I felt it looked good enough as it was, so I decided to stick with that. What made me further decide on that was when I just colored some of the line work for the snowflakes. And once I started doing that, that's when everything clicked for me. That's when I decided, yeah, yeah, this is the right way to go about things. Um, and it's a decision I wish I come to far more often. It's where I can just throw out that temptation to color in every last bit of a thing, and just get it done. Um, I mean, I'm looking at the time recorded, which is roughly the time spent on the comic, and it's at just under 20 minutes. When you consider that the majority of my comics, even the simpler ones, they tend to take like an hour and a half, 2 hours to color. under 20 minutes is quite the time difference. And I wish, I really wish my color process was that quick all the time, because that would be nice. That would save up quite a bit of time to focus on other things. Um, so that's pretty much all I have to say about this one, because there isn't all that much I can say beyond that. Oh, like what one thing, the trees in the background of the final panel. I was going to add add like a touch of gradient to them, despite the fact that I wasn't doing it anywhere else. But I felt I felt it would kind of bring too much attention to them, whereas I wanted all the focus to be on the snowman, make the snowman be the thing that stands out from everything else. So I felt that if I added any kind of color detail to those trees, it would take away from that. So instead, all I did was I just colored in the line work for those trees with the same color that I used for the snowflakes. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you at the next video. Take care.